Now that Raul put the whole salt that he has in his house into his beer, now we can get started, I guess. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Offset Conversations here at Automotive Anatomy Podcast. Today's guest, I don't know if anybody else has had this much of a problem logging into a Zoom meeting, but maybe they didn't say it out loud. Raul took his time, was very stressed, but he made it. And that's what he deserves, a beer. So Raul, thank you so much for joining, man.
Let me interrupt you there, okay, guys? I've known you for a little bit, and me and you get along pretty good. But when you told me about this podcast, you did not mention once how to download an app. Yo de por sí, I barely know how to text and call. Y ahora, pues eso de downloading apps, I forgot my fucking iTunes, my, ¿cómo se llama? Cloud password. No, era un pedo. Ya me estaba estresando, and I was like,
Man, I gotta cancel on this, man. This is just too much for me.
Y luego I had to choose my setting, que me mirara bien, like, no muy gordito, like, y luego, pues, everything like in 10 minutes, tú apurándome.
You look good.
Aquí estoy.
You look good. Thank you for making time for us. And I'm sure your phone has like 5% battery too, because you're on your phone.
Sí, no, estamos bien. Tengo like 75.
You got 10 minutes.
Yeah, the last interview was like an hour and a half. I don't know if I could stay that long, but I'll probably run out of things to talk about. Pero pues, vamos a dar.
No. You won't run out of things to talk about because you're pretty enjoying that beer for those that can't see.
Salud.
Salud, señor. Well, I mean, it seems like either your connection, my connection, when we both talk, it gets a little shaky. So we'll let you talk. How about that? First and foremost, enchiladas verdes or enchiladas rojas? Which ones are better?
Rojas.
Oh.
Y de queso.
No. Okay, let's just cancel this, man. No, verdes. Verdes was the right answer.
No, es que mira, tú eres chilango, güey. Yo soy de mi familia de Michoacán, so ya son rojas, pero tú eres chilango, you be liking some other stuff.
So you guys do your enchiladas with like chicken inside and cheese, and then they put them in the oven, no?
En un disco. So, allá las hacen, pues no creas que soy muy experto, pero así las hacen allá, bañan la tortilla en salsa roja, les echan que su pollo, a mí personally me gustan de queso, and then los ponen en el disco, en un disco, and then ahí las hacen, y ya te le ponen que repollo, crema, queso y un desvergue arriba, but they're bomb.
Well, either way, the answer was green. Doesn't matter how you explain it.
I like it.
Nah, I'm kidding. Well, we can agree on the fact that the day that we met, we went to eat some bombas tamales, and then you say you were going to take me out to eat a little bit more, and I'm still waiting, but maybe.
Es que, es que te salen muchos pretendientes, guys, y con todos, como que me desanimé un poco porque veo, pues, hey, this is the start to a good friendship y todo, pero pues veo que con todos les mandas, que pensando en ti, que no sé qué, le digo, no, este güey está fácil, like, mejor déjalo, testeo un poco.
What you're saying is you got jealous. Speaking of which, I heard through the grapevine that the first time you ever saw me in person, you were a little nervous to come up and say hi.
Sí. You're the first YouTuber I ever met, So, para mí, it's like, hey, este güey es celebrity, pero ya,
You were drenched in sweat, fool. You walk like a cat. Like your wife and your friends were off to the side, and you came like really slowly. And I was there with my brother and my homie Juan. And I just see this fool come up and creep up, staring at me, creeping up. Like there's nowhere to go, but to me, hey, are you Gus? No, man.
Yeah. No, I told my wife, I was like, hey, you know what? That's the guy from Automotive Anatomy. Like, I want to go say what's up, but I don't want to come off as a weirdo tampoco. And like, hey, what's up, man? Like, Pero yeah, I kind of creeped up y como que, once I made eye contact, I was like, all right, fuck it, let me go say what's up.
What's up, man? Too late to turn back. Ay, Raul, Raul. So who's Raul? Where did he grow up? Does he have brothers, sisters? What gets him mad? What gets him excited? Tell us.
My name is Raul. I grew up in Boyle Heights. So, I mean, it's Boyle Heights, East LA. For the people that live here, it's like a big dilemma. They say that Boyle Heights is Boyle Heights and East LA is East LA. A lot of people say it's the same thing. It's east of downtown. So as soon as you pass the 6th Street Bridge, which now they're renovating it, but it's east, it's called East LA, east of Los Angeles. So I was born in Boyle Heights. I lived there throughout my whole life. But I went to school in East LA. So I lived in Boyle Heights. I was supposed to go to other schools, but my mom placed me in schools in East LA. She's always had a business, and her businesses were in East LA. So it was just easier, more convenient for me to go to school to where her business was at. That way, after school, I just go straight with her, So yeah, I'm from Boyle Heights, born and raised, and but I spent most of my life in the East LA area.
Okay. So what do you like to call it? Boyle Heights or East LA? Sounds like you like Boyle Heights, no?
No, para mí es East LA. For
okay,
me,
so
it's
like East Los.
East Los. Para mí es lo mismo, nomás que a veces es, para la gente de aquí dicen, que los de Boyle Heights son de Boyle Heights. Los de East LA son los de East LA. Pero es lo mismo. We're east of downtown.
La misma chingadera.
La misma,
La misma gata chada. What high school did you go to? Since you didn't go to your home high school.
I went to Garfield High School.
You went to Garfield?
I went to Garfield High School, home of the Bulldogs.
Home of the Bulldogs, huh?
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Roosevelt. That's where my address, that's the one I belong to.
Man, such a traitor.
Sí, hey, aquí sí. I know I'm going to get a lot of shame for it, pero I'm a Bulldog at heart, So my sister, okay, you asked me about también my family. My sister, I have one sibling. She's older than I am. She's me lleva 8 años, but
okay.
We're really close. We're really close. I love my sister a lot. And she went to Roosevelt. So me and her, we bump heads and we talk smack to each other, especially during the Classic. The Classic is the East LA rivalry game. I'm pretty sure each neighborhood has their own, high school rivalry. So for us in East LA, it's Roosevelt versus Garfield. So
does Garfield ever win? Does Garfield ever win?
A huevo? Sí.
I thought it was
when I was there. When I was there, we lost every single.
Oh, okay, I was about to tell you. I was like, I don't think Garfield ever wins.
No, tampoco. No, sí ganan. They've been winning the last couple years, and I mean, I don't know if it's right to say, but when I was there, it was predominantly puro Mexicano, puro chaparrillo and nothing but Mexicano. So in basketball, we're all pretty much short. Uno que otro alto ahí, pero you go play in South Central, you go play in Compton, pues ahí hay puros, de
African, tall, strong.
They're like 6'6". Pero de un tiempo para acá, Garfield became, years after I graduated, Garfield High School became like a charter school. So they were getting students from all over. So then we got a little bit of a diversity going on, and with that came better players, I guess. And that's when we started winning the Classic.
I see. I wasn't too off from my assumption that they wouldn't win. I heard about that. I heard about the change in Garfield and those areas, and we'll get to it because I think with you it's a cool topic to discuss with you, gentrification, just because you've seen it. I mean, you're in an area where, like you mentioned, it was Hispanics or Latinos or whatever you want to call them, and now you've seen the coffee shops, the Whole Foods open up, the businesses go away, the street vendors kind of go away in some areas, and it'll be interesting to see and to hear your point of view on that. But okay, did you play any sports?
I did. I played basketball, Era el gordibueno más chingón.
A huevo.
I played basketball throughout most of my childhood, and I was pretty good. Despite me being a bigger dude, I was pretty good. I wanted to play football, but during that year that I started freshman year, somebody died in Garfield, a student. I guess he no sé qué ya te, no me acuerdo. I started high school in 2000, so I'm class of 2004.
4-year-old.
Yeah. So that year that I started high school, un muchacho died during practice. I guess he had a concussion o ya tenía algo él. I don't know if it was a medical issue, pero también tuvo como un concussion in practice. And y pues no, mi mamá, when she got wind of it, because it was all over, you know, pues como todas las mamás, no quiso, you know. She's like, no, ese es muy rudo y que, you know, te vas a lastimar. And you know how that goes, you know. But I did play basketball my freshman, sophomore year. And then my junior, with the ones that counted, no jugué. Because I started fucking up in school, you know. It was part of my friend. I started messing up really good. Total que no iba. So if I couldn't make
so there's no record of you being on the team. You're just lying now.
I even had to pass. I still had the class, and they told me, you know what, Raul, like, you're a good player, but your head is somewhere else, your priorities are another, and just to pass the class, I had to be the mascot for like a couple of games just to pass the basketball class.
Wow.
And I even quit that. I was like, you know what?
You look like a good bulldog.
El cuerpo lo tenía y la cara, pero no, that suit was so hot, Gus. You know
That's it.
No, y déjate digo, it was so fucking hot in that costume. Me andaba asando, dude. Like, I was burning up in there. I was sweating bullets. And the gym was hot. It had no AC. You know, this fool wanted me to cheer, and I hardly even wanted to move because every time I would move, I felt like I was in a faint. So like, I didn't even make it to halftime. I told the coach, I sat on next to the players. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Give me the fail. I'm going to take the shit off. He's like, no, don't take off the suit. Give me the fail. I don't care. and my buddies were the team, and I was like, hey, you know, como dicen ahorita, YOLO, like, fuck it, you know, like, it was hot, dude. Like, I thought I was in a faint.
It was hot.
Otra cosa, that costume was from like the 70s. Like, it didn't even have fur. Nomás era la pura tela por abajo. Like, just the bedding at the bottom, they didn't even have fur no more. And it itched like a motherfucker. Like, they didn't even wash that shit, I think. It itched so bad. Like, that smelled like shit. Like somebody have been spitting all night on the, I don't know, it smelled rancid.
Oh man, the moment that she doesn't let you play football because you might pass out, but here you are, the mascot of the basketball team inside this hot ass weather gym, and you're about to pass out. That's funny.
And puros boxers on that, it was hot as shit in there, dude. Like,
oh man, that's funny. So did you pass the class?
That was my basketball career in high school.
Did you pass the class?
I got the fail, fool. I took off the suit.
And they gave you the F. That's funny. Well, what is the best play in basketball that you can think of? Like your whole entire basketball career in high school. What is that one best play that you're like, damn, like?
Well, I had a couple, but there was one where we're playing. Who was it? I'm not sure if it was HP High School, Huntington Park High School, and we were down. We were down 3 points, 2 points. We're down 2 points, and they put me in because they had taken me out already of the game, and they put me back in. And I've always been a bigger dude, so I usually played like strong forward, small forward. I didn't really have the height to be a center because I'm like 5'10". But I was always a shooter too. So the coach put me in the game, and I was just supposed to be under the basket and, get rebounds and put it back in. I mean, me valió madre. I went in, they gave me the ball. I don't know how, I forgot how it happened, but I ended up with the ball and I shot the motherfucker and se metió, and we ended up winning the game. So that was one of it. That was one of the ones I had. That's the one I remember the most, because even the referee was giving me props, like, yeah, big man, like that way to go, big man. The coach was mad because I wasn't supposed to shoot it. I was supposed to pass it off to the guard or something, but I was like, YOLO, dude, like, this is my moment to shine,
The girl I like came to watch the game, so I'll get. That's
I
good.
had like a Coach Carter moment.
That's good, man. Those are good moments. That's funny. Did you like school? Did you like any subject, or were you just there for the girls?
I was just there. You know what? I can't even say for the girls, because I did have my girlfriend all throughout high school, pero estaba bien verde yo, dude. Like, I was mostly, my high school experience was really good because of my friends, good and bad because, like I never went to school. Pero as far as subjects, the ones I did go, I'm going to be honest, guys, I would go to first, second, and third period. It would be auto shop, wood shop, and art. Yeah, me iba, like I would, like, every now and then, like my Spanish class or whatever. But ya de ahí las otras, like math, English, all the ones that count, like I wasn't there. Pa que tengo que sí.
And you graduated from high school?
I did.
If that's a testament for educational system in the United States, then I don't know what it is.
I had to make up a bunch of credits my senior year. So what happened was, I think a month before graduation, my counselors straight out told me, you know what, Raul, you're down like these many credits.
A month before, get out of here. They talked to you before that.
No, claro.
Okay. I'm just saying, I'm speaking up on behalf of the counselors in high schools, because come on, man, everybody's always like, oh, a month before I graduate, the counselor magically said you're not going to graduate. No. Okay.
I already knew, and my counselor before Garfield High School was tracks, right? So my C, I was in C track, and my counselor, because each track had different counselors, and mine was real cool. His name was Mr. Benson, and he was a really down to earth older man. And he told me, like, hey man, he told me, like, you're fucking up, like you're messing up, bro. Like, like you're not gonna graduate. And I was like, man, like, hey, this is important to my mom, like, this and that, like, what can I do? So
we have this mascot suit that you're familiar with.
Yeah, hey, I don't know. I don't know if I could.
You would have not graduated high school, put it that way.
I'll get my GED.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he told me I told him, hey, is there anything I can do?
Your
so
homework?
What was
your homework?
For real. That was too late for that. But what he told me was that what helped me out was that before graduation, my track was on vacation. So I went to summer school, and out of summer school, I went to adult school. So I would go to summer school, and after summer school, I would go to adult school. And then también when I was in track, before I went on vacations, I was already in adult school too. So I made up a bunch of credits like the last month, 2 months before graduation. And I found out I was going to walk the stage like a week before graduation. I didn't even come out of my yearbook. I paid for the fucking yearbook, and I don't even come out in it, My senior portrait. I didn't take senior portraits. I didn't nothing. Like I bought it. Well, actually, my mom bought it. She was so happy I graduated. She wanted to buy me everything. So me compró my class ring. Me compró el yearbook. Todo eso. And the yearbook, I don't even come out in it. Like, but I have it.
Mijo, where are you? What page? I scrolled through all the pages. Which one is it, mijo?
I'm
the mascot mommy on the basketball picture. Oh shoot! So you graduated? Damn.
Yeah, I was able to walk the stage. So it was a good moment for my family. I had to, because my sister, she's real smart and she loves school.
Well, she went to Roosevelt, fool. Come on, come on.
Tampoco, ahí se van las dos. They tienen just as many mess ups as Garfield did. But she, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of had that in my back, like that chip on my back, like, damn, my sister, she graduated, and then after graduation, she ended up getting married young. She had kids, and she still managed to get, go to community college, graduate that. She went to Cal State LA, got her bachelor's, then she got her master's. All of this with being married with kids. And I was like, Dad, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I don't got shit. Diploma,
What does your sister have to brag about you? He's the Garfield mascot in high school. My younger brother. That's funny. Okay, well, that's good. And so throughout all these high school things and everything, where do cars come into play? Is that something that you were interested or not really?
Yeah, I was, just because I wanted to drive in high school. I wanted to, like I said, first of all, I used to live in a section of Royal Heights where I belonged to Roosevelt. So Garfield was a pretty ways to me. So I wanted a car because of that. But I took the bus, But as far as like me starting to want to modify cars or fix them up, that didn't come along until I started ELAC, until I started community college. When I was in high school, my mom got me an 84 Honda Civic sedan. It was like 3 different colors, dude, but ese carrito was like a mean warrior. Nunca me dejaba anywhere. It didn't have no brakes. I would start braking from like half a mile away, hoping to God que no me fuera a estrellar con nadie, but ese carrito me llevaba para todos lados. But I never modified it or nothing. The only thing I did was put an LA sticker in the back, and I thought it was cool. You
should have put brakes, fool. So you ended up going to ELAC.
Huh?
You ended up going to ELAC.
I did, but I didn't finish studying.
Hey, but you went. That's what counts, I guess.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to go back and finish because I was only a couple classes shy of me getting my AA degree. So, and all the classes that I took were requirement classes. So I only need a couple classes to get my AA degree and transfer, because the classes that I took were all transferable classes too. So it's algo que quedó pendiente that I've been wanting to go back and, and do that for myself.
You know what's funny? What's funny is that, like, I see this common theme, like yourself, like you mentioned, the first 3 periods: wood shop, auto shop, art. Like, it seems like you're very artistic, plus you like to work with your hands. So the traditional, education, book smart, like read all this and then write me this paper, it doesn't flow with you. Obviously, we know that you're a very smart man, but maybe that's where we're failing a lot of our students, where we don't, and obviously for funding and budget reasons, we're not accommodating those that learn with their hands. In fact, we're cutting artistic people. Libraries getting shut down. Wood shop, I can't think of a high school near me that has wood shop. Tech, I think there's like 1 tech school in the whole district where I work. And so a lot of you guys, and I guess I include myself somewhat, are losing on that opportunity, and we're not having you guys be engaged because you guys are smart. It's just you guys learn different. You guys are interested in different things.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, man. I'm glad you finished high school, and I'm glad you went to ELAC. I'm glad that you got all that. So meanwhile, I know that your background is lowriders. So shoot, Boyle High, East LA, you see them all the time. Was that the car that you kind of wanted to start getting, or how does that come about after you got rid of the little Civic?
What car? A lowrider car, like an older car, or the DA that I have now?
Well, because your background is lowriders, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like when you were going either in high school or community college, where did that love for the lowrider start?
Well, the whole riding thing is since I was a kid, you know. A couple of my uncles had lowriders, but there's somebody that I grew up with, and because we lived for years, I was really close to his kids, and I saw him more as like a como decir un tío, pues, because we were always together. I was always with this kid. I was always with him. He lived across the street from my house, and we became real close. His name was Henry Martinez. He's an older guy. He's probably in his 50s now, but he had been low riding since 1973, and for a car club called Lifestyle. So for those that are familiar with lowriders, that club is really well known. So he was from Lifestyle, probably from 1976, 75, all the way to like the mid 2000s. And then he took a break for a while, and then he built another car. He built what was it, 1979 Cadillac Broham, and he joined Imperials, which is another old ass club from the States.
Wow.
For those that they're familiar with the Imperials, there's this really famous car called the Gypsy Rose that's even been in Washington D.C. and in museums. I don't know if I know your brother's into lowriders. I'm pretty sure he knows who that is. So I was always around that because he would always take me to car shows. I would drive his lowrider. It seemed like it was his joy for me to, you know, drive it in the show, and he would sit passenger, but it was his car, you know, he would just let me drive it. So I grew up with that, you know, but I always liked them. I always loved them. But for me in high school and after, the tuner scene was really, really popular in the early 2000s. So my attention gravitated more towards Hondas and tuner cars. I've always had a love for lowriders, and up to this day, I still want to, you know, down the future, maybe get a 1970 Monte Carlos or a 1966 Impala, but we're talking about real money to get one of those, you know. But my thing has always been Hondas. You know, that's where my attention gravitated to after high school. And that's when I got my first DB, my DB1, my four-door sedan.
Did you specifically search out DB1, or was that kind of the budget and that popped up on Craigslist and you bought it, or how did that come about?
That came about because I was going to school at ELAC, and I was working at ELAC. I used to work at the financial aid department. So it was like a work study program, where I would go to school and then I would work there. Again, my sister, when she went to ELAC, she worked at the financial aid office too. And of course, she graduated many years before I did, but she still knew the people that worked there. So when I started ELAC, she took me, you know, like I said, me and my sister have always been close. She took me and then she introduced me and she kind of hooked me up with the job there. Well, she did. And then the car came about because I became really close to a technician, somebody that worked at the financial aid office. And his thing were Hondas. You know what? His things were Accords. He liked CB7s so much. He had like probably 4 of them. So his thing were Accords. And he was really good with working on cars and everything. So we had that in common. And I told him, his name was Julio. I told him, hey, Julio, you know, I got my financial aid check. Like, I need to get myself. Yeah.
That's for school.
Hey, homie, like, no te hagas como que tú tampoco no lo usabas para cosas así, you know? Y le dije, like, hey, you know what? Like, I need a car. And you know, find me something reliable. Tú que sabes de mecánica, like something that you were to recommend. He's like, hey, well, one of my buddies is selling an Integra. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, and then I was like, hey, boy, you know, like, let's see it. And if you tell me it's a good buy, I'll go ahead and jump on it. And that's how that came about, which turned out to be a bad choice. But I had fun with it.
What happened?
Me salió malo el carro. Según yo, I've seen this fool that he was a mechanic or whatever. But it was an electrical problems. Siempre que si no era una cosa, the main relay, que si no era, it was all types of shit, dude. Like, it seemed like every check that I got, something would bust and it would leave me stranded everywhere.
You should have got one of his Accords. That's why. You should have bought one of his Accords.
For real. Nah, no me gustaban.
So then you get rid of DB1, right?
Yeah, I ended up getting rid of it. I had her for about 3 years, 2-3 years. And I had it parked in my house for a couple of years, actually. And se estaba echando perder, and I just sold it to another neighbor of mine. And he was going to use it as a daily. He was going to fix it because I already had another motor for it and everything. I just never got along to fixing it again because I had bought another car. And so lo di a él. He said he was going to fix it, but he never did nothing with it either. He ended up junking it.
So what do you buy after DB1?
I bought a Scion TC.
From bad to worse.
Nah,
boy, such bad taste.
Oh, ya ves.
I'm always talking smack on Scions. That's why I phone. They're all right. They're all right. I like those cars, but I'll take an XB over a TC any day of the week.
A what?
XB over a TC.
Oh, yeah, they're popular. Lo que pasa que en esos tiempos eran cuando salieron, you know, like in 2000. Well, I believe they came out like in 2003, the first one, and I got mine in 2005. So during that time, Scion was really marketing towards the young people, and they were nice cars because they already came with alloy wheels. Some of them already came dropped. They came really nice off a factory, you know, and they were cheap because they were aimed. Their Scion's marketing goal was to aim it towards college students that wanted a new car, but they couldn't afford it. So, and then they did a lot of marketing. Not Scary Farm had something called Scion Night, where every year during Halloween, they would close down the whole park for Scion owners. I don't know if you ever heard about that. You're there from Orange County. Yeah, for years. For years, they had that. It used to be called Scion Night, and they used to close down the whole park for nothing but Scion owners. So I think it was like the first 3,000 cars that got in. You could take yourself and anybody that fit in your car with the seatbelt. They go in for free. Yeah, and it was cool. And I used to belong to a car club called Scion Creations. So my TC was pretty fixed up too. I've been in the car scene for a while, you know, but I used to be in a club called Scion Creations, and we were sponsored by Scion of Hollywood. We were sponsored and everything. Yeah, we used to have car shows back then. We had Smush Parker from the Lakers as one of our judges. We had Derek Fisher one year as for one of our judges. They used to have like that BMX thing because the car shows were at the dealer in Scion of Hollywood, off of in front of Florentine Gardens was a dealer. I forgot what street was that. Hollywood Boulevard, I don't remember, but that's where the dealer was at, and we used to host our car shows there. So it was fun. I can't knock on Scion because I really enjoyed it. Around that time, that's when I was dating my wife. Now we were boyfriend and girlfriend, so she was there with me through all of that stuff. We had a lot of fun, you know. So a lot of people talk shit about Scions, just like Brian. Brian gave me a hard time about it too, but I had a lot of fun. It was cool.
What happened to it?
It was just time to move on. I was with that car for a while. Carro me salió bueno. I had it from like 2005 all the way, I want to say, to like 2017. 16. I got out of the car show scene with that Scion like in 2010. From then, it just became my daily, and I just used to daily it around. Pero me salió muy bueno el carro. I ended up getting a single cab truck, so I sold that Scion to my little brother-in-law. His name is Max, and he ended up fucking it up, and I don't know where it's at now.
Long story short.
Yeah.
So then, the bug to go back to the Honda and Acura was always there then.
Eso sí, siempre me quedé con eso. That I would say once I was at a certain point, you know, I wanted to fix a Honda the way I saw them when I was in high school or out of my first years in ELAC. Because back then in East LA se miraban muchos Hondas, nice, clean ones. I remember back in the day, there was this team club, I don't know, they used to be called Uncivilized, that were from my neighborhood in Boyle Heights. And I remember one of them had a white EG, really nice white EG, and it was slammed on SI wheels, on EM1 wheels. And it was so simple and so clean, but it looked nice, like real nice. Otro también, his buddy had a black CRX SI on SI wheels también. And it was just, I thought they were so nice, all original, all complete. So siempre dije, me quedé con eso, like, I want to build another Honda, but the right way, you know, aunque me tome más tiempo, longer time to put the parts together, like, I just don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, throw anything on the car, which is, if that's according to your budget, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, my plan of approach or plan of attack was, you know, take my time with it and fix it now that I have somewhere to store it, and you know what I mean? And take my time with it and fix it the way I would have wanted to fix it back then, you know?
So you find yours. Was it, did you want the Acura DA, like for sure, or were you playing with the idea of other chassis?
When I started looking for some this time, it was the DA for sure, because I really liked the DA, but I wanted a hatch. So not the 4-door sedan like I had, I wanted the hatch. But I was also considering a CRX. I was also considering an EG or an EJ1. I really like those chassis. It was basically whichever one came first or whichever was in better condition. But there was a preference towards the DA just because I had one in the past. And I guess, well, you can say that that's my chassis of choice, is the DA. And that's the one that came along. I want to go see like 2 CRXs. En una ya me andaba estrellando yo. It looked that the steering wheel was going to fly off when I took it for a test drive. And it was no good. I want to go see another one también that was no good. I want to go see like 2 CRXs. But I came across this clean DA. And like I said in your video, I had to go to Bakersfield to go get it. So from me here, it's about an hour and a half away. I think an hour and a half, 2 hours from here.
That's a distance, man.
Yeah.
So now that you're back into the game, because you were off from it, how do you like it? Do you like where it's at? I mean, you don't have to be too direct, but do you enjoy where it is, or do you think that, you know, through the inflation of parts, we're kind of losing some of that grassroots, you know, DA love that you once remember, or for you it's just been like it's been nothing but smooth?
You know what? I love it, dude. Like I didn't expect this the way it is now. Like I said, being away from this for so many years, I came with a really nice reality that the Honda community is so welcoming. You know, I've met a lot of nice people along the way. Yes, parts are expensive; they're hard to find, and you know, but that's just part of the fun. You know, the treasure hunt is part of the fun of looking for parts. And yes, some of the prices are ridiculous, you know, pero hey, it comes with it, you know. A veces dicen, you gotta pay to play, you know. But as far as just the scene in general, I was really pleasantly surprised. I've met a lot of cool people, like I said, like yourself, like Bryant, like Gene. Everybody loves Gene. You know, Robert, Red Sonia, Poppy Thickness. I've met a lot of cool cats in this, you know, and I really enjoy it, and it's a nice. I was expecting something else, honestly, because back in the day, pues ya ves, había mucha envidia. They used to steal cars all the time. You can't leave your car nowhere. I don't remember cars and coffees back then like they are now. So it was a nice, algo bonito para mí, you know, something where I could take my wife. It's early in the morning. We go to the Cars and Coffee. After that, we go have breakfast, and we go about our Sunday, you know. So I really enjoy it. Sometimes it's a lot of things that happen because it's like here in Southern California, it's like every weekend there's like 2 or 3, you know. So sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. Where recently I was like on a little break where I kind of went MIA for a little bit. But I went to the last one I went to was the DA meet with Brady, that David hosted along with Kenji. Really cool meet. I met a lot of cool people. So yeah, man, to answer your question, I love it. The people are so nice, and yes, every now and then you have, como todo, you have a couple of
Bad apples.
good choice of words. Yes, a couple of rappers. Pero eso es como todo, everywhere. No le vas a caer bien a todos. Not everybody doesn't like your car, but that's okay. Like, I'm a grown ass man, dude. Like, si te gusta bien, si no, también. If you want to talk to me, I talk to whoever. But it's more the good than the bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you also choose to see that, and that says a lot about you. And it's good. Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm actually I was excited to go because even though it's not my chassis of choice, it's so nice to see how you guys get so excited about seeing people that drive the same old freaking car as you, and the different style that you guys go with. Um, it's fun. Speaking of style, you have good style when it comes to wheels. What's up with that, man? Like, you just changing wheels? Are you like constantly on offer up or what, and refinishing them? Like, are you just like on a hunt for all SSR wheels?
I actually don't have SSR wheels. I have all the wheels I've had are work wheels.
They all look like SSRs to me. That's why.
See, the fins, they look like SSRs. But thank you for that compliment. ¿Sabes qué? Yo cuando entré to this, I had no clue. I bought my first set of real wheels from Sean from Milestone Collective. And this is before I even had fixed up my car. I already had my Integra, but I had done nothing to it. I incluso when I bought those wheels from him, I told him that I was planning on painting it. And there were the Ewing 3s that I had. I don't know if you see. I know you've seen them, los que parecen como estrella. So those were my wheel. Yeah, that was Sean Greenstar from Milestone Collective. He sold me my first set of wheels, and then just doing my research and like I wanted something that was, period, around that era. I really liked it, and those were the wheels that I have now are the wheels that I wanted. It's not something that, these came along. I know they're real wheels. They're not really my thing, but these came along, so I'm gonna get them. No, it's los wheels que tengo ahorita is because I really wanted them. The emotions I have, it was the inspiration behind that was Matt. It was off of your interview with him. You know what I'm talking about, right? Matt with the white DA.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really cool guy. Him too, Matt, really cool guy.
He's a Packers fan, so
Me too.
Oh
We have
no!
to get it off.
Oh.
No me quedó tiempo, Gus, but I was gonna go to my garage and I was gonna take off my Packer banner and put it somewhere, wherever I was gonna set up, pero no tuve chance.
My God, this interview just keeps getting worse and worse.
What fan are you? ¿A quién te gusta a ti?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Ya ves, por eso ni sabía. You're a bandwagon fan, por eso.
Okay, so the wheels that you have now, what is the correct name?
The wheels that I have on right now are the work fins, the work Ewing fins, and then I have the work Ewing. So I pretty much have all the Ewing line. I have the Ewing 3s, the work Ewing 3s. I have the work Ewing emotions. I have the work Ewing fins. The only ones I pretty much need are the work Ewing meshes.
And which one was the one that was like your ultimate dream wheel?
The emotions and the fins. Those were my two favorite ones. I can't say I like one more than the other. Well, actually, I like my emotions more, but
you can't say
are right there with them.
So you just so that was pretty much it. The work wheels. I thought they were SSRs. I don't know. I don't look at the fine print, but okay. With your work wheels, nice red paint that looks amazing. And then you go and kill it by getting bags.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's too low, dude. Like, I like my car being slammed, and I know it's sacrilegious. I know I'm gonna get, comments maybe because static for life and static or no life or whatever the fuck. But the fact of the matter is, I like my cars being slammed, but I'm a bigger dude. I'm gonna say it on your video, dude. I look so stupid sometimes getting out of my car, because it's hey, I'm gonna call it like it is, dude. I try to be transparent, and I may look cool when I'm driving up, but when it comes time for me to get out of the fucking car, it's like, man. You know what I mean? That and like eating shit everywhere, dude. Like, I've had to, fix my exhaust already like 2-3 times. I've lost parts on the road because I'm so low. I was just tired of that, I'm fucking leaking oil. I don't know from where. I still need to see. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get bags. That way I can just raise it up when I'm driving, and then I can just drive comfortable. And whenever I post up somewhere, I just slam it, So that's why.
Should have gone with Jews.
Oh, with hydros? Yeah, I should have, but my pockets weren't too deep at that time. I just wanted to get something now, so I just got some bags.
No, all BS aside, there's nothing wrong with bags. I think I like static, but yeah, man, it gets old, man. It gets old real quick. You have to plan your route. And if somebody is coming out of a driveway and you can't angle it a certain way, you're gonna eat it. Your wheels are gonna eat it. Your lips gonna eat it. You see, I get it, and I just like to give people a hard time. But bags are cool. Definitely, you can do a lot more with bags, and your fitment can be more aggressive. I don't know if you already fixed the issue that you wanted, but you said you wanted the front end to sit a little bit lower. I mean, it's already really low, but you kind of want like, laying frame type of thing, right?
Yeah, and I still haven't got around to that. They told me I needed like drop forks, I believe, for it to be, because right now the back tucks. It tucks really good in the back, and in the front, it kind of goes to where the top of the lip is at. And I want it to kind of tuck the same as the back. So they told me I need to get drop forks for it, I believe. I don't know if you guys got a better suggestion. You can let me know. But yeah, I still didn't get around to that.
Yeah, you can just chop everything off and really have it lay frame. That's what you can do.
Huh?
So now that you have your DA and that you've done all those beautiful things and you've got a lot of recognition, a lot of love, because honestly, that car deserves it. And I think a little bit of it is the car, but most of it is you as an individual. I think once they get to know you, they're like, damn, this guy's cool, man. Like he's very humble. He's very easy to talk to. Obviously very supportive, not only with me, but with other people in the car world, and always willing to make time for people. So that definitely speaks volumes from you. So, thank you. And I think that's the reason why your car is getting developed and getting that love that it really deserves. I know we're never done. We're never content. So what can we expect from your build upcoming the next couple of years or so?
Well, actually, right now as we speak, my car is in the shop. So yeah, I ended up acquiring a couple pieces, some that I already had, but I didn't install it just because I wanted to complete what I wanted. Thanks to somebody that's also in the Honda community, and I won't say his name because he told me not to, but shout out to him. So my car's in the shop, and there's other things that I have planned for it too, pero todo a su tiempo, because those are, I want to do this first, get it out of the shop, and I'm gonna show it. Hopefully, if you know, if I show up to the Japanese classic car show, I plan on attending that one. I plan on attending the este otro que viene, Wegfest. So right there you can see it. But my car's in the shop right now. I actually just dropped it off the day before yesterday. It's probably gonna be there for a couple weeks.
So what? So you're not gonna share anything? Not even a small glimpse? Nah, you don't have to. That's okay.
No es cosa de otro mundo. It's nice. It completes it. Basically, I'm getting parts color matched. Is that like a good hint? I remember I told you I had the Mugen, and your video I said I had the Mugen back bumper, but I hadn't put it on because I was waiting for other pieces. So now that I completed the pieces, I'm getting everything color matched. And there's other pieces or things that I want to add on that are going to really amplify the lowrider look that I'm going for. And I might get a lot of hate. I might get a lot of love for it. Me, myself, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I don't want to stay with that I didn't do it. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to see how I like it. If I don't like it, I'll just paint over it, you know, but that's coming up. And it's going to be something wild.
I think I have an idea what you mean. And I think it's going to be a cool touch because we don't see that in the Honda community. So I'm excited for it, man. Hopefully, let's leave it at that. But good. So obviously you're a well-rounded person. Cars is a hobby. Another hobby that I like to see you upload into your stories is biking. When did that start for you? How did that come about?
My brother-in-law, Leo, he started biking. You know, just took it upon himself to you know, try something new, to work out, you know, and in the beginning he was going with my wife's cousin or his cousin, and he would always tell me to go, you know, but I work in construction, you know, most of the time I come out beat, tired from work, and I just wasn't up for it. But I need to make an effort, you know, health-wise. I need to make an effort to be active, even though my job is really physically demanding. Pero I need to make more of an effort, you know, a healthier lifestyle, change the lifestyle, you know. And I'm not saying I'm no marathon, you know, do marathons or nothing. We just, you know, go along the riverbed right here close to my house. But it's turning each week we go a little farther and a little farther and a little farther. Right now, I'm at the point where we hit Santa Fe Dam, and from where we start close to my house to Santa Fe Dam, I believe is ¿cuántos son? Como 9 miles, 10 miles. So round trip, we're doing about 18 miles. Round trip, right? Going and coming.
That's a lot.
Huh?
That's a lot.
Yeah. So and it just started where we biked a certain, you know, not even a quarter of that. But every time that we would go, it was just a little farther. And I would post that in my stories too, like a new milestone, you know, and now we got this far. And it became cool because it started off being my brother-in-law and his cousin. Then I added the mix. I got my wife into it. And now other people, even from the Honda community, Gene told me that he wanted to join me one of these days. Papi Thickness said he was down to join me one of these days. So it's something really cool, a really healthy thing. And it's fun, you know, it not only that, but it helps you mentally too, you know. Te despejas la mente. Like when you go bike ride along the river, was you see ducks, you see rabbits, you see snakes, you see, and it's just all this wildlife. Like you see, there's a little riverbed around there, and we pass through ranches because along the 605 freeway, there's a couple ranches that are literally next to the trail. Y es algo bonito. It's something really nice that it has helped me and my wife. It's just, sometimes she has a long day from work, and that's like a de-stressor for us. You know, I've had a long day from work, and you just forget about everything. You know, you look at everything that's going on. you're blasting music because we take a speaker, so we enjoy it, you know. A veces a mí they kind of have to like se me pagan los fuses a little bit because I'm just so tired from work. Pero my wife is a really good supporter of mine and my brother-in-law. So ahí vamos, poco a poco, you know. But it also has to do a lot with my eating habits. That's what I need to work on now. Pero ahí estamos doing bike riding, hiking, you know.
How is your eating habits? Have you been getting better at that? Because I go like off and on the wagon. You know, there's times that I can eat really healthy, and there's like the weekend something possesses me, and it's like food everywhere, and I eat it.
They're bad, dude.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet.
I don't want to front, you know, like I don't want to front. Pero because then my wife's gonna see this video and she's like, pinche mentiroso, like, you know, I just said the truth or something, you know, like I don't bullshit if I don't say the truth. You know what it is para mí la noche, you know, I start getting the munchies in the nighttime when I shouldn't because I eat really late. And the drinking, you know, I need to cut back on my drinking. So things like that. During you know what, I work, casi no me da hambre. In the morning is just un café con un pan. Pero en la noche, like in the nighttime, is where I have my heavy meals. And that's when I shouldn't. You know, once it gets too late, it's not really good to eat. Yo vengo comiendo a veces like at 8, you know, 7:38, sometimes at 9. And my wife works and I work. So sometimes I'm just like, well, let's just go get something to eat. And my wife cooks, you know, my wife cooks. She's a really good wife. But sometimes we're just out and about, like when we go bike riding, you know, like, oh, it's too late to cook. By the time you cook something, mejor hay que pasar por aquí, you know? That's where it messes me up.
Yeah, I get you. I'm the same way. And so speaking of that, where's the go-to place for you, and what's your favorite kind of food, or favorite dish?
It depends. It depends on what I'm feeling for. Right here in East LA, I'm really blessed that there's taco places in literally every corner. Down the street, there's a whole street where it became like a food vlogger's paradise because there's like a truck de mariscos, there's a truck de churros, there's a truck like a Benihana hibachi truck, there's a birria truck, there's everything right here. So it just depends on what I'm craving. You know, if I want tacos, I know a certain spot for tacos. If I want menudo, I'm a real big menudo guy on weekends. So I have my spot for menudo. It just depends on what I want. And then, you know, I could tell you where to go, which I'm still waiting for you. You said it's too far to come out here, but, you know, like we're supposed to go out, but it was no, you know, the good hole-in-the-wall spots was son aquí. So I need to bring you over here, aunque te voy a recoger.
Well, last time you left me dressed and ready, and then you came up with oh no, that's too late, blah blah blah. Like,
You said it was too late. You like going for the no man, hey, no chingas, guys. You wanted to go have dinner like at 4:30. You feel like no.
Dude, I'm old, man. I'm old. I'm an old soul, man. You like, how about drinks? Like, let's do drinks. What time? 6. I'm like, fool, I want to be at home at 6 way.
I told you at 8. I told you 8:30. But on a Saturday, it's expected. You wanted to go on a Saturday at 4:30. What am I gonna go drink? Horchata or what? Like, come on, bro.
I don't know, man. I'm just an old soul, man. That's all it is. I'm an old soul, but no, I definitely do need to make it out there. I'm more of a breakfast guy también. I'll eat any time of the week, and I know that the first time we met, we went to eat, and it's a cool spot. It was good. You definitely are blessed in the area where you live. You have a lot of good food.
Yeah. Ooh.
What happened? I ran out of battery.
No. I'm getting a call. I stay. Yeah, we're back.
So your wife, hey, yeah, córtale, güey, ya.
No, así fue ella. She just got out of work. Mira, damn, ahí está otra vez.
Okay, si quieres, contesta, güey. A ver.
Oh, hold on. No se oye. A ver. ¿Sí se oye?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right. little bit of technical difficulties, but now we're back. Um, so yeah, man, it looks like you know the spots to go eat. So we'll definitely gonna make that happen. Um, as of now, what else are you into? Are you trying to get into different hobbies, music, or right now just kind of biking and cars have all your attention, or do you have a hidden talent that we don't know about?
Um, well, right now it's just been that, like biking, and we go hiking on Saturdays. I really enjoy doing that. Something that you don't know that I did was I played bass and drums since I was 9 years old. So when I was a kid, I grew up in a church. So I was born Catholic, and then my parents became Christian. So I was Christian, you know, throughout my whole youth. And then my wife became my wife is Catholic, so we ended up getting married to the Catholic Church. So I go through both. I go to both. I mean, it's the same Word of God, and I don't want to get into the whole politics with that. Para mí es el mismo Dios, and I enjoy going to both. But I played bass and drums for the youth group and the church group. So I played since I was 9 years old, all the way till I was about 24, 25. Yeah.
That's a cool little thing.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people don't know about me. But
So when are you starting your band?
no, ahorita ya no, una de puros ancianos, or what?
Sí, güey.
A ti te voy a llevar de cantante.
Let's start it. Let's be los güeyes del norte, güey, or something like that, you know?
I'm down.
Look at how much salt do you put, man.
Todavía ni le caigas. No Damn.
Well, we put like half his salty.
Vaya. Hey, déjame vivir, fool. Like, let me do my thing.
Speaking of which, Modelo. I thought you're like, oh, let me get a beer. What is? Oh, Tapatio? No.
It's like a little mini michelada,
Food.
But like an express one.
Team Valentina, homie.
Oh, pues sí, pues you're from El DF, fool.
Man, I don't know. You have such horrible taste.
Well, primero that I have good taste, and then I have horrible taste. Well,
I have to lie to my guests, otherwise, but when you feel comfortable to tell you the truth, just bad taste.
Ya ves, me dijiste que le eché mucha sal y le falta sal. Me sabe puro.
Ponle sal, güey.
Pues me estás cagando el palo que le eché mucho.
What do you like to drink? Do you stick with the Mexican beer? Because I used to be like that, dude. I was like, I don't know. I went Team Corona for like the longest, right? And then just one day out of the blue, it tasted nasty, and I was like, let me try Modelo. And then I went Modelo for the longest, and then I got introduced by the IPAs, this and that, by my buddies that went to breweries. And now I don't really normally buy Modelos anymore. I mostly just kind of go to brewery and have one of those bougie drinks. Are you still like Modelo forever, or do you go to those bougie drinks?
Excuse me, yo no soy bougie. No, I mostly, I stick to Mexican beer. You know what? Talking to my homie, shout out to Pinche Enrique. He's a real cool dude too. He's really into craft beers, and when he was down here in LA, he had me try I don't know what the fuck it was, some type of slushy beer from Oregon that was really good. Pero
hold on, before you continue with your story, did you know that Enrique was that tall?
No,
I don't know. That fool never shows his knees. I was like I think I know you, but you're that tall. That fool tripped out everyone.
For real, dude. Like, hey, check it out, saliendo from the little car. But hey, that fool tells it like it is too. I respect that about him.
Yeah.
He like it is. He's a cool dude. But he's always talking shit that I drink piss beer. Not exactly to me, but anybody who drinks Modelo beer is like piss beer. But I as far as like IPAs and stuff like that, that's a little too heavy duty for me. Yeah, like it's not really my thing. Like Guinness and what is it, like Newcastle? I don't know if those are IPAs or not, but those are strong, dude. Like con unas de esas ya ando todo like,
So you're a lightweight.
No, tampoco, ¿verdad? Pero, with modelos, I usually stick to modelos, pacíficos, every now and then Corona, but it's mostly modelo, pacífico, Dos X. Yeah, those are my weapons of choice.
You sound like you are lightweight, but let's leave it at that. Since
Cuando
the
quieras,
reason the reason why I asked about the bougie drinks, and because my wife and I go to bougie ass coffee places all the time. I mean, we've been in your neck of the woods because she finds little coffee shops in Los Angeles, and then we drive over there and we have those little. So now that obviously you grew up closer to Roosevelt, you said in your area, have you seen a big demographic change, like the community, or 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 has it been steady the same? Do you see the same, Hispanic community staying and then the next generation staying, or have you seen anything a major change?
there has been major changes here, and it's a topic of debate, preference. I don't know how you want to call it, but is this like you said, like the whole gentrification thing is kind of turning into, I don't know if you're familiar with Echo Park. Echo Park is started off being predominantly, Latino, and then now it became kind of like a hipster place, and all these dive bars and bars, and that's how East LA is shifting over towards East LA. Um, and it's cool to see, but there's also like a lot of they're building a lot of Section 8 housing here. They're doing it's a lot more stuff that comes with it. It's cool to see change up to a certain point, but I kind of feel like East LA is kind of losing that authenticity that it had. But change is good. It's just, I guess, how you
And we ran out of battery, huh, and internet. Okay, let's
with
see.
that comes a lot of other stuff. You know what I
Sorry,
mean?
we lost you for the last 20 seconds. I think it was my internet. Um, but I got you at change is good. I it well, it's funny because Echo Park was just in the news not too long ago because of the homeless problem that it had. And it looked really bad, dude. I'm all for trying to provide a better community for everyone, right? But it got to the point that it looked pretty bad, and then the news came out that they were displacing all those individuals, and so I don't know where that stands now. I don't know if Echo Park is still closed, but my wife and I went to Boyle Heights specifically again to drink some bougie coffee, and there were some murals, and man, yeah, there were some areas that 5 years ago was like very um I guess what we would think of Boyle Heights, and we just went like less than a year ago, and there's coffee places, disco, like record places, and it's like cleaner, and then you drive two lights away and then you see the more traditional thing, and like you start seeing a little bit of how everything's little by little they're cleaning up, and so I don't know, I wanted to get your point just because uh it's not a bad or a good thing if you agree or disagree, or you like it or you don't. Ultimately it's part of your community, I would like to think that most of us want to be in a safe community, and so for me, looking from the outside to East Los and the history that East Los has, and even that East Los what it is, to see those changes, I mean, it's always a good idea, or a uh good moment to take the point of view from someone that lives there.
Yeah. Like I said, change is good. I guess me, like you said, living and being raised in East LA. East LA has always had this essence of, uh, ¿cómo te diré? Like authenticity, in the sense that it's really, like, I don't know how to put it without, uh,
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, it is, you'll find the most authentic stuff there, Hispanic community, your big, Catholic for the most part murals, and your food stands, and the community that we both grew up with. It that's what East Los Angeles is all about. All the movies portray it, and in essence, that's a community that has maintained that area. Whether it's good for bad, that's, that's somebody else's opinion. um, because to me, maybe having a couple cars outside and the driveway rotting away, and multiple families living in one apartment or a house may not be appropriate, but for somebody else it's like, that's the way it's always been, that's the way we want it, that's the way we like it, and that's the way we want to continue, right? So
Yeah.
it, it's 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 a tough conversation, but I think it's one that it's cool to hear different point of views, because then with that, gentrification, you also lose those little mom and pop shops that can't pay the rent or whatever, and so now that one little location of food that it was really good is no longer there because they couldn't, for whatever reason, now they gotta relocate somewhere else, and so you lose that tradition that you're talking about, that sense of, um, you know, East LA. What makes East LA East LA?
And you hit it on the nail. Like I'm all for change. I'm all for the betterment of the community, but at the same time, is driving away all these mom and pop shops that are getting bought out by bigger things, and it's I feel like I just don't want it. I don't want it to lose its essence of that East LA had, that is mostly made up of those mom and pop shops, those little food stands that were the hole in the wall places that make East LA. Pero como todo, the world evolves every day, and it's just, I guess, inevitable, and it's just the way it is. But as long as it's for the betterment of the community, I guess I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you see the changes in Garfield and all these other schools. There's pros and cons, like everything. I think sometimes for me, my frustration is the fact that you're able to see that if, let's say, I don't know, the government in this case, or the city, if they really want to take an interest in helping a community out, like they can, but sometimes they're choosing not to until they see a financial benefit for them, whatever, whoever these identities are. And that's where you start seeing all this displacement. I know here in OC, there's some areas like Santa Ana, 4th Street. Over there would be the Arts District, right? Where in downtown LA, and I guess East LA, at some point, nobody wanted to live there because of the homelessness, the crime, just everything. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, investors come in and they start putting attention, somehow homeless are no longer there. Now there's more policing, crime drops, and now there's this opportunity for more money, and that's when they start, displacing people. And it's like, well, why couldn't you do all this without displacing the people that were there? And so obviously that's a major, financial and political thing, but you know, I've always said it, I think I'm part of the problem, I guess you would say, of gentrification. I go to these bougie ass coffee places, where maybe I wouldn't have gone a year before to try some champurrado to the same location that now I'm going to buy this bougie coffee place. So I guess you could say that I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, get your shit together, Gus.
But I drive an Accord, so that makes it okay.
Balance. You know.
Yeah, man. Dude, I mean, like I said, man, it's fun to talk to you. I think that you bring such a cool vibe wherever you go, man. And I'm so glad that you took the step to come and say hi to me. Because I saw your car and I was like, damn, I haven't seen this car. And I was gonna hunt you down to see if I could find your Instagram. I eventually would have asked you for an interview, just because the car is so clean, and for me, again, like I told you, is about the story of the person. And I don't know, man. I think it's cool to see how, like, you are back in the game and doing all this crazy stuff to your car. We are now meeting the same people. You mentioned Rob, who should be in the podcast coming up. Gene, I don't think he's ever going to be in the podcast because he's famous, but come on, He's never gonna, come in here. He doesn't even listen to this. We'll see if he does. Um, but it's nice to meet somebody else, man. To meet another hardworking um, individual, specifically Latino. Very, um, great example of what a good husband is. A fur daddy. You have a couple dogs, and it it brings me joy, man. And obviously, we didn't touch into every little aspect of your life, but I know a few things that I'm like, man, like that guy is a hard worker, and I kid you not when I say I hope nothing but the best in health, money or whatever it is that you want. Um, experiences and stuff to you, because you're definitely being a positive impact in the car community, man, and to me personally.
That's honestly humbling to hear. I myself don't see it like that. I didn't know I had that type of I guess you can say influence. I don't know, but I mean it's humbling to hear. And la verdad is, es el corazón. Like if I talk to you, I'm not fake. If I just try to be real, and I respect everybody's builds. I appreciate them for what it is. And like you said, it's mostly the person. It's the people. I enjoy talking to everybody. Um, you gravitate sometimes closer to some people than others, but it's just the fact of you being there and camaraderie, and it's just a whole different trip, and that's what does it for me. It's cool getting your car ready, it's cool taking it to the shows, but it's seeing you and bullshitting with you for 5 minutes because you're like all over the fucking place. So and with Gene, and talking about x amount of things with Robert, with the people. That's what does it for me. And I'm just glad I can put my little grain of sand and be a positive impact. And I feel honored, and it's really humbling, to hear that
What's the
from
truth?
an outside perspective.
Now, what is the truth, man? It's the truth. And I think I did that with the first podcast, and then I did that with the second one. I'm a true believer that you gotta tell the people how you feel about them, because maybe gone tomorrow, and maybe this podcast doesn't even gets uploaded anywhere. But at least I'm telling you, we I guess we take our friendship for granted, and we take good people like yourself for granted. It's like, oh, well, I didn't say hi to him, I'll see him on the next one. Well, sometimes the next one doesn't come around. And so that's the mentality that I have, that I like to let you know. And it's not BSing. That's the reason why you are here, because I felt comfortable asking you, being part of this, because in this whole process, you are being vulnerable. You are, sharing a lot of intimate things. You are sharing your opinion, on tricky, topics, and you are opening up yourself to opinions from others. And so this is not just like, oh, it's just anybody. Like that's always been my go-to. Like, let me see the person, let me see how, I guess, quote unquote, they carry themselves. um and and then move on from there. It's not just like, oh, just to make another video. That's not the way my head works, I guess. And it's shown. That's why we've had a lot of amazing people, that some that you have mentioned on the interviews. And so with this whole podcast thing too, like, um I hope this is not your only invite. I'm telling you this much. If you want to come around and shoot the shit more, we'll be more than glad. Hopefully by then you can actually get quality headphones, and by then you'll have Zoom downloaded, so it's not going to be a 3 hour thing, a 3 hour ordeal for you. And definitely share more stories, man, because I think that's the stories are pretty much it, man. That's what keeps us going.
Yeah, for sure, man. Whenever you want to have me, I'm here. I got that from you from the gate, and I know you mentioned from it. You mentioned on your videos that it's not about the car, it's about the person, and I honestly believe that from you. I know you're more interested in the person, and I thank you for seeing that in me. And the type of person that I am. I feel like I like to be really transparent with everybody, and I'm glad you can see that in me. And como dices tú, share your feelings with the people you love and the people you care about, because tomorrow is never promised. After the year we just had, and me losing someone. And I'll say it on your video. I lost my dad due to COVID. You know, and it just makes you reflect on the people you have around you. You know, your family, your friends, and you appreciate them in a whole different light. You know, it's just it's a trip. You know, you never know when someone's going to be taken away from you. You know, and just enjoy the little things. You know, a veces no es lo grande, or you know, it's just the little things that happen now that we take for granted. You know what I mean? And I just sitting here with you and bullshitting with you right now, I appreciate that, you know, because it's just the friendship that me and you have, you know, it's building and it's growing, and it's just I appreciate those things, and I thank you for having me in your podcast, you know, de corazón.
Yeah, but the only thing is, next time you jump in our podcast, you better have the Garfield costume on. Otherwise, we don't want you here.
No, esa cosa se me que lo quemaron. Nothing was left, dude. Like, she didn't have no fur. It's just like the netting under. Dude, I had a rash so bad because it was hot and itchy. Dude, never again. I'm telling you, I didn't even make it to halftime. I took off the hat, and the coach was like, "What are you doing, Raul? Like, you know, you need to be cheering, you need to be clapping and jumping." I'm like, first of all, dude, I don't jump. Okay, I'm a big dude. I don't jump. So that went out the door right there. Second of all, this shit is hot as fuck, and I'll just take the fail. Like, I just sat down in the bench with the players. I was like, "Hey, I'm done." You know, give me the F. I'm not trying to die before graduation of heat stroke.
Oh, shoot. All right, man. And with that, I thank you so much for being part of today's podcast. I thank everybody else who took the time to listen to this, to listen to Raul's stories. Yeah, man. So lesson learned. Be okay to walk away from things that make you itchy. Thank you, Raul, man. Definitely appreciate your time, and thank you for your time. And we'll catch you in another car event, man.
See you on the next one. Thank you for having me.